Good day to you. Today I'm going to cover semester 1, assignment 1, question 1 for 2021 or 2016, whichever one you want to use. That's the one that I'm going to cover today. Okay, so let's take a look at the question. Okay, here it says question 1. Find a good cookbook, read the instructions for your favorite dish, write a program to display the recipe on the screen, but with a difference. The quantity of each ingredient must be multiplied by a value entered from the keyboard. For example, if the recipe needs 2 cups of flour, the output displayed will be something like this. Please enter the factor to multiply the ingredients with, and you could enter 4. And then it would ask for the recipe name, and then it would show the ingredients, and it would show all the ingredients, and it would show a method. So it's saying here the program has the following structure. Declare an int variable named mFactor to store the value with which the quantity of each ingredient must be multiplied. The program must make use of a sin statement to input a value from the keyboard and store it in mFactor. Submit both your program and the output. Okay, so for my example, I've found this old recipe somewhere. I don't know where we've got it from, but basically it's a 1-hour cinnamon roll. And on the ingredients here, there's 3.5 cups of warm water, 3/4 sugar, half a cup of vegetable oil, 6 tablespoons of quick rise yeast, 1 tablespoon of salt, 3 eggs, 10.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and then it's got a couple of other ingredients here. Okay, so the main factor here is to consider that with this being 3.5, we need to use variables such as double, and with this being 6, we can put these variables on the integer part of it. Okay, and then I've got mine called baking instructions over here, but this is obviously what they want as the method, so we need to create a method. Alright, so this is my recipe, what I'm going to use. I've already typed it out so as not to waste time seeing what I'm doing, but basically there I've got my first ingredient. Okay, so first we start off with our IO stream because we need our input output. Okay, since I'm not going to be using any other fancy codes, I'm just using the standard namespace. Okay, so using namespace standard. Then I start my main declaration, int main, since I wanted to return an integer. And then we've got our open close brackets, and then we've got our parenthesis. Okay, and then obviously I've got my return 0 at the bottom. So if I maximize this, you can see I've defined my variables as double, and as I mentioned, water was 3.5 cups of warm water. So with my 3.5, I've just pointed it as 3.5. My sugar was 3/4, but I saw there was 1 cup of sugar here and then another cup of sugar somewhere else, so I just decided to merge it and put it at 1.75. The value doesn't matter, it's just to get a basic recipe going, and to define how do you define it. And so I've got my oil, half a cup, the flour, and I've gone and put 10.5 cups here, and butter, 0.5. So here's my integer variables, and you can see I've assigned the yeast, salt, eggs, and I've set a value to each of these. Okay, and then here's our mFactor. Alright, so the next line I've put it as a C out, and I've asked it to please ask the user enter the factor to multiply the ingredients with, and then I've used my C input which is sin, and I've asked them to take that m factor variable. Okay, then I've gone and I've used that m factor and I've multiplied each of the ingredients. So water will now equal this 3.5 times the m factor, and instead of using 3.5, I've just shown them that I do know that you can use the water, which would be 3.5, and then so this is how I've defined my multiplication. Okay, and then what will happen is it will output that it's a 1 hour cinnamon rolls, and then I've listed my ingredients, and you must remember to put a space in between the variable that's being displayed, and I've just put one line of the method, but you'd obviously have to type at least a few, 4 or 5 lines depending on the method of the recipe you chose. So this \t just puts a tab on the field, so it makes it look more in order. So I'm gonna, without further delay, I'm gonna execute this code just so that you can see what its output looks like. So this is the question: please enter the factor to multiply the ingredients with. They had an example of 4, and so here I've got it, my 1 hour cinnamon rolls. There's my ingredients, and there was the start of my method. Okay, and you can see here it's multiplied all the ingredients, and if you don't quite believe me, you can just go and re-execute that same code, and we can just leave it as 1, and you'll see there it comes up with what the individual products are, and then yeah, my method. So thank you for watching. I hope this is helpful, and yeah, may you have best of luck with this COS1511. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.